They say some roads remember every scream ever released into the night, every accident, every soul that never made it home. And if you're unlucky enough to drive those roads alone, you might meet someone trying to get home, someone who died on that same road decades ago. Tonight, you'll hear the story of the hitchhiker who appears out of nowhere and disappears before dawn. It was a cold October night when Michael Turner, a quiet college student, started the long drive back to his hometown. The highway stretched endlessly between fields of tall, unmoving grass, the kind that looks like it's breathing when the wind passes through. But that night, the air was still, unnaturally still. No movement, no sound, just the hum of his engine and the faint static of the radio. Michael didn't know it yet, but he had just entered a stretch of road locals called Dead Mile, a place where people vanish and sometimes come back. At exactly 1:14 a.m., Michael spotted something in the distance. A figure standing on the right side of the road, illuminated only by the glow of his headlights. A young woman, long black hair, soaked as if she'd been standing in the rain. But the sky above was perfectly clear. She wasn't waving, she wasn't panicking. She just stood there, staring. Michael slowed down, rolled down his window and called out, "Hey, are you okay? Do you need help?" The girl nodded slowly and whispered, "Home. Please take me home." Against every instinct in his body, Michael unlocked the door. She sat silently, her hands folded neatly in her lap, eyes fixed forward. Her clothes were old-fashioned, like something from the 1970s. A pale blue dress, a thin sweater, no shoes. Michael tried to lighten the mood. "So, where do you live?" She answered with a trembling voice, "Just a little farther. I didn't mean to frighten you." But something about her felt off. The air inside the car grew icy, and every breath Michael took felt heavier than the last. As the car moved down the empty road, Michael noticed something unsettling. Whenever he glanced at her through the corner of his eye, she seemed blurred, like she wasn't sitting fully in the seat. And the more he focused on her reflection in the rearview mirror, the harder it became to see her face. It was as if the mirror refused to show her. Her voice broke the silence. "You're very kind. Not many people stop anymore." Michael forced a nervous chuckle. "Well, you looked like you needed help." She stiffened. "No, people stopped before, but they don't return." He froze. "What do you mean?" The girl didn't answer. Her head slowly turned toward the window, watching the dark fields glide by. After several minutes of suffocating silence, she lifted a shaky hand and pointed to a small, unlit side road. "Here, turn here." Michael hesitated. That road wasn't on any map, but curiosity and fear pushed him forward. As he made the turn, the trees closed in tightly on the car, forming a tunnel of branches. The headlights seemed weaker, struggling to cut through the darkness. He swallowed hard. "So, this is where you live?" The girl nodded. "You'll see it soon. My house is waiting." Something about the word waiting chilled him more than the freezing air. Suddenly the girl whispered, "He never found me." Michael blinked. "Who?" My father, he never found me after the crash. Michael's grip on the steering wheel tightened. Crash? She nodded slowly. There was rain, screaming, glass everywhere. I tried to walk home, but I never made it. His heart pounded. He turned to look at her directly. And that's when he saw it. For a split second, her face was pale and bruised, a deep cut across her forehead, dried blood down the side of her cheek. Her clothes were torn and soaked with mud, not rain, mud from the ditch she died in. Michael slammed on the brakes. The car shuddered to a stop. He turned fully toward her, but the seat was empty. No sound, no trace, no breath, just the faintest scent of wet earth. Ahead of him, just beyond the trees, stood a small, decaying house with a broken porch light flickering weakly. Michael's hands shook as he stepped out of the car. He didn't know why he walked toward it. Some force pulled him there, like the story wasn't finished. He knocked on the door. After a long moment, an elderly man opened it, eyes tired and red. "Can I help you?" Michael's voice trembled. I think I just gave a ride to your daughter." The man's face drained of all color. "My daughter died 40 years ago, on this road." Before Michael could respond, he felt a cold hand brush against the back of his neck. He spun around. Nothing. Just the empty road and the whisper of wind returning at last. The old man's voice cracked behind him. "She comes back when someone kind enough stops for her." Michael stumbled backward, rushing to his car. As he started the engine, the radio crackled with static. Then a soft female voice whispered through the speakers. "Thank you for trying to take me home." Michael never drove that road again. But travelers say that on cold October nights, a lonely girl still stands by the roadside, waiting for the next stranger kind or unlucky enough to stop.